I have been hearing some very specific things coming out of the Saints facility this week that suggest the front office is preparing for a significant shift in identity. We are looking at three distinct situations that could redefine how this team approaches the upcoming stretch. From roster adjustments to strategic questions regarding player development, the atmosphere in New Orleans is currently charged with anticipation. You need to understand how these moves connect because they are not just isolated events. Let us dive into the details, starting with the most pressing news.
Derek Carr is currently at the center of a swirling conversation regarding the Saints' offense as the organization evaluates how to maximize his veteran presence within the current tactical framework. When we look at the way the ball is being distributed, there is a clear emphasis on finding that rhythm that has been somewhat elusive during the early parts of this campaign. As an insider who spends time around the facility, I have observed that Derek Carr is putting in extra hours to ensure his timing with the receiving core is precise, especially on those intermediate routes that define the West Coast concepts the team is attempting to implement. The financial implications here are significant, as his contract structure creates a specific window for the team to capitalize on his experience before the salary cap realities force harder decisions. From a tactical standpoint, Derek Carr has shown the ability to read defenses at the line of scrimmage, which is essential for a team that often relies on quick adjustments to counter aggressive blitz packages from division rivals. The coaching staff is clearly putting a lot on his shoulders, trusting his veteran intuition to manage game flow and protect the football. There is a palpable sense of urgency in the locker room, and it starts with the man under center. If Derek Carr can maintain his accuracy while under pressure, the overall offensive efficiency will likely see the uptick that the front office has been anticipating since the offseason. We must consider his historical performance in high-leverage situations, where his composure has often been the difference between a narrow victory and a frustrating loss. The team is currently balancing the need to win now with the long-term goal of building a sustainable roster, and Derek Carr is the bridge between those two objectives. His leadership in the huddle remains a constant, even when the production fluctuates. Fans have been vocal about the offensive struggles, but looking at the film, the issues are often more about protection schemes and depth than the quarterback himself. As we monitor the upcoming game plans, watch for how the play calling shifts to accommodate his strengths in the pocket. The organization is betting big that he can elevate the players around him. If he continues to refine his decision-making process, especially when the pocket collapses, the Saints could find the consistency they desperately need to make a push in the NFC South. The narrative surrounding his performance is always going to be intense given the stakes, but the internal belief in his capability remains firm. We are looking at a critical juncture where his ability to command the scheme will determine whether the team stays competitive or falls behind in the playoff race. The weight of expectations is heavy, yet Derek Carr has navigated similar environments before. As the team prepares for the next challenge, his preparation will be the primary focus of the coaching staff's assessment. We will keep tracking how his chemistry develops with the younger receivers, as that connection is vital for unlocking the full potential of this offensive group. Transitioning from the quarterback's perspective, we also have to address the defensive side of the ball and how some of the younger talent is progressing.
If you are enjoying this deep dive into the Saints' current roster moves, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. We are committed to bringing you the most accurate updates straight from the source.
Alvin Kamara remains the heartbeat of the Saints offense, a player whose multifaceted skill set allows the coaching staff to operate with a level of creativity that few other teams in the league can match. The conversation surrounding his usage rate has become a recurring theme, particularly as the team looks to balance his heavy workload with the necessity of keeping him fresh for the final quarter of the season. From a scheme perspective, Alvin Kamara provides a unique safety valve for the passing game, often drawing coverage away from the perimeter threats and creating space for others to operate. When he is on the field, the defensive coordinator on the opposing sideline is forced to account for him in both the run and pass games, which effectively limits their ability to play aggressive man-to-man coverage. My sources within the organization have indicated that the team is very aware of the physical toll his style of play takes, leading to a more strategic approach in how they distribute touches during practice sessions. This is not just about managing an injury, it is about preservation and strategic deployment. We have seen how his presence changes the entire complexion of a drive, especially in the red zone, where his vision and lateral quickness are unparalleled. As we analyze the roster construction, it is clear that Alvin Kamara is the cornerstone around which the rest of the offensive personnel are arranged. The team has invested in depth behind him, but there is no direct replacement for his specific brand of explosive production. Looking at the salary cap, his His contract continues to be a point of discussion, but his value to the team's identity is undeniable. He represents the culture of the Saints, and his leadership in the locker room serves as a steadying force during inconsistent stretches. There are discussions about how to better utilize him in motion to create mismatches against linebackers who simply cannot keep up with his route running. This tactical shift could be the key to unlocking more explosive plays, which have been somewhat lacking lately. The coaching staff is clearly experimenting with different personnel groupings to see how they can maximize his impact without overexerting him. If they find the right balance, the offensive ceiling rises significantly. Fans often ask about his longevity, but his training regimen is designed to keep him playing at a high level well beyond the typical shelf life for a running back. His ability to adjust his running style as the game progresses shows a level of maturity that is rare. We are seeing a concerted effort to ensure he is the centerpiece of the game plan, regardless of the opponent. The team knows that when he is firing on all cylinders, they can compete with anyone in the league. As we monitor his practice participation, the focus remains on keeping him healthy for the high-leverage games that define the playoff push. He is more than just a runner. He is a chess piece that the Saints use to manipulate defensive structures. The way he identifies blitzing defenders and adjusts his protection is a testament to his high football IQ. As we move forward, his performance will continue to be the primary indicator of the team's success on the ground. Shifting our focus to the defensive side, we have to talk about how the unit is adapting to new challenges.
Cameron Jordan serves as the enduring anchor of the Saints' defensive front, a player whose influence extends far beyond his sack totals and quarterback pressures. When we talk about defensive identity, we are talking about his ability to set the edge and force opposing offenses into predictable situations. In recent weeks, the coaching staff has leaned heavily on his veteran presence to help stabilize a unit that has faced some transition periods. From a tactical standpoint, Cameron Jordan brings a level of discipline that is crucial for maintaining gap integrity, especially when the team shifts into nickel or dime packages to counter modern passing attacks. I have watched him in film sessions and during practice, and his attention to detail is still as sharp as it was when he first entered the league. He understands the nuances of offensive line tendencies, which allows him to anticipate snap counts and gain that split-second advantage that makes all the difference in the trenches. His leadership is particularly vital as the younger pass rushers continue to develop, providing a roadmap for how to sustain success at the professional level. The salary cap situation for the team often leads to rumors about potential veteran departures, but his commitment to the organization remains ironclad. He is a cornerstone of the defensive scheme, and his presence allows the coordinators to be more aggressive with their blitz packages, knowing that they have a reliable force on the edge. The impact of having such a vocal leader in the locker room cannot be overstated, especially when the team faces the adversity of a long season. He is the personification of the team's resilience, and his work ethic is contagious among the defensive line group. We are seeing a more focused effort from the entire defensive unit to generate pressure with just 4 men, which is where Cameron Jordan shines. If he can continue to demand double teams, it creates opportunities for the interior linemen to make plays, which is a critical component of the team's overall defensive philosophy. The fans recognize his legacy, but his current contribution is what matters most for the team's short-term goals. He is constantly refining his technique, incorporating new moves to keep offensive tackles off balance. This dedication to his craft is why he has remained a productive force for so long. As we look at the upcoming schedule, his role in stopping the run will be equally important to his pass rushing duties. The coaching staff trusts him implicitly to handle the most difficult assignments, which speaks volumes about his reliability. We are at a point where the defense needs to tighten up in the fourth quarter, and he is the one leading the charge to ensure the communication remains clear under pressure. His ability to diagnose plays before they develop is a trait that only comes with years of experience. As the team looks to solidify its standing in the division, the performance of the defensive front will be the deciding factor in many games. The legacy he has built is already secure, but his drive to win another championship for this city is what keeps him going every single day. We will keep a close eye on how his snap counts are managed throughout the season, as the team looks to keep him explosive for the stretch run. His impact remains a central pillar of the team's strategy.
It is clear that the Saints are at a pivotal moment, with veterans like Derek Carr, Alvin Kamara, and Cameron Jordan carrying the heavy burden of expectation. Whether it is refining the offensive scheme or tightening up the defensive front,
the margin for error is shrinking by the week. The team is fighting through the typical mid-season grind, and the coaching staff is clearly looking for answers to bridge the gap between potential and performance. What do you think is the biggest key for this team to turn things around? Let us know in the comments below. Like, subscribe, and stay tuned.